something crossed my feed, my thread, not my thread, but you know.
Your timeline.
My timeline. Thank you very much. Haven't had her coffee. That's why.
Wow.
So Spill with Phyna is Phyna's vlog, or is it blog? And on this
podcast,
come
blog, into 2024, as you know.
Let's live this down, a millennial.
This year.
And that's what we're talking about, the differences in opinion and preferences when it comes to generations. Now, on that podcast, she and Tacha had a conversation about what courtship really means. And Tacha made a submission where she said that unless you have a ring on it, you do not need to be faithful in a relationship. Now, this prompted Michael Uba, famous Nigerian actor, to actually make his own submission where he said, I mean, that's just rubbish. Courtship is a sample of what exactly happens inside of marriage. If you are so inside of courtship where you're not faithful, then it's just exactly what's going to happen inside. No magic is going to happen one day because of the ring on your finger. And it got me thinking exactly why she would say that, Tacha, now I mean. Is it just a generational thing? Is it that their generation, this is how they think? And if you juxtapose that with how we thought marriage was or courtship was back in our day, is there a difference? And then again, let's also add our parents. How did they go about courtship?
So this is a whole roundabout
I want to quickly establish the fact that there's a possibility or maybe probability that Tacha doesn't understand what courtship means.
Okay, possibility, probability. Let's assume she does understand what courtship is.
But in this context, she does not.
Okay, so maybe let's switch around the vocabulary she used. Right?
Okay.
If you want to think about it from that perspective, maybe she wasn't expressing herself with the words that maybe would have been a bit more appropriate.
Are you saying she lacks a vocabulary?
Martino, that is
dumb.
you.
Are you saying Tacha does not know words?
Smartest girls you can ever meet.
Well, you just said she doesn't have vocabulary
an entrepreneur,
in her.
Yes.
I just left this group chat.
No, she is amazing. No. See, look, this is we're not talking about Tacha today. We're talking about what she was talking about.
Or her lack of vocabulary,
Really? Seriously? I would have said, maybe it's all about, why are you doing this?
No.
Why are you doing this?
Land, I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you, but Land.
I'm trying not to go back on that. Okay, you know what? So where I'm going is, I'm saying keep your options open.
While cutting.
Yes, in 2024, a lot of people are keeping their options open until they get a ring. Why? Because you hear of so many relationships where you do 4 or 5 years, and then suddenly the guy just remembers he has one babe that was in school with him and came back from the UK, and then the babe is like, oh yeah, it's true, I wanted to marry her, and then he drops the babe and goes back to his original
I believe
plan.
that in a courtship it takes two, and it takes two to commit to it. It's a relationship, and you're saying this is the person I perhaps, would like to settle with.
Courtship in 2024 is different from what we have.
So let's talk about the generational difference.
At this point, I am going to ask that maybe it is time there's some regulatory body that regulates all these vlogs and podcasts. No, vlogs and podcasts. Because of the sort of narratives that they're pushing and somewhat, it's gradual, but it's getting into the minds of, it's permeating into the minds of people, and that is the problem. Why? What is changing it?
Let me tell you
what is facilitating that narrative or that change of mindset.
I was at the young age of 33. And in my opinion, after experiencing marriage for a long time, I think I was ill-prepared. I love my wife, but I also admit the fact that due to certain personal flaws, I wish that I was much more mature. So I would have said, if you asked me now, I'd say that perhaps maybe I should have been much older before getting married. Now that is only because of experience. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy being married.
It's not a regret thing.
It's not a regret thing. It's just that if I had that added advantage, I think I would have been more whole.
So I've had this conversation with my husband as well. And
how old were you?
I was 23.
That was young.
When we got married. And even when we look at our wedding pictures today, we're like, wait, we were children. What were we thinking? We actually have these conversations.
I need to ask you guys.
No,
just a second.
Then I have to note that it just felt like the next thing to do. Okay, you've done
graduated, you have a small job,
you've got a job. Next thing, it just felt like a process. And we're climbing a ladder to get to
would you call that pressure?
So I think I probably put more pressure on myself than anybody putting pressure on me.
Okay,
but
guys.
now, Gen Zs and the next gen are not as pressured as we wanted.
That's all I want to say. Take it home. Take it home.
That's it.
I'm good.
Because right now, they're more empowered, they're more educated, they're more exposed, enlightened, and they want to achieve things before they eventually settle down.
No one is asking
keeping your options open might be an educated choice.
If we keep doing this, we'll find out more people will not get married. If we keep having conversations about, oh, courtship, it's okay for you to still keep frolicking around while you're courting.
Said frolicking
well, no,
around
wait, because
now.
basically that's what she said. We're not going to have people getting married. And we forget that marriage or family stems from the institution of marriage. So if you're taking away that narrative because everybody's waiting to be woke, we're in a woke generation, so we're not going to get married. We all want to achieve this or achieve that. Nobody is going to get married, and that takes away from our values. That takes away from our from the family system. Sorry, darling, I'm about to land.
Go ahead.
That also brings back. I need to ask you guys a question because you guys were talking earlier on about your you know, at the age you guys married. I wanted to ask you.
You have to
did you grow? Have you grown?
Yes,
have you grown in that relationship? Yes. Have you grown in that marriage? Yes. Now that is it. You are meant to grow in the marriage, not get married and dead stop.
Calm down. You know why? Look because at the rate of divorce.
No.
Don't go there. Titi, don't go there. No, don't go there. Because we need each other to grow. Whether as a married couple or in a relationship, but there's a relationship. It has to be, it needs to happen.
Can I round this up? First of all, how old were you when you got married?
I was married when I was 28.
28, okay, you were much older.
That was a great age to get married.
But this is it, yeah. 23? I believe that the concept of marriage changes with each generation and the climate we find ourselves, whether you like it or not, the environment. And this day and age, one thing that's a big factor inside of our environment
social media. Yes, and that's a tool.
Yes. Our parents didn't have that. They had to come from because desire to balance their partners. We don't know what they did do. They won't tell us what they did do, but they'll say they didn't do anything. But in any case, that was a different time. Our time is also different. And I think our time we were a bit subdued and we're not as outspoken as the current generation, which you might kind of like fall on there almost.
Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing.
Is it a good thing?
It is.
I feel like because social media has become a tool that has...
The director wants us to move on.
I mean, we need to continue this conversation.
We need to.
Yeah, we have to.
So perhaps you join us when we do. It could be on the couch next, or maybe we'll even just do it on our social media page, which is Wake Up Nigeria
TVC.
So join us on there.
Yeah.